The story of Ferrari in 2022 was somewhat of a success, but many Ferrari fans will consider it a failure for a number of reasons. But this is mainly down to expectations versus the reality, with what they thought would happen would be drastically different, as we probably already know. Ferrari is the most successful team in Formula One history, so with that comes added pressure from everyone pretty much, so they need to be able to handle that in 2023. It will be a very important year for the Scuderia, as they nearly nailed the regulations and were only beaten by one of the most dominant cars that we have seen in Formula One history, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. In today's video, we'll be discussing some of the potential predictions that may happen in 2023. Let's get right into it. Before we dive deep into the 2023 season and what it may look like for Ferrari, we will just touch a little bit on the 2022 season. You probably already know about last year, but if you don't, we will tell you the very basics. Going into the season, the expectation going in and the rumours before the season opener were that Ferrari had nailed the regulations and were the favourites to win both the championships, with many people predicting Leclerc and Ferrari do the double and win their first championship since 2007. It started off very well with maximum points in Bahrain in the opener and in the third round. Leclerc got a Grand Slam, while their closest rivals in Red Bull had reliability issues. However, Red Bull would come back and dominate with Max Verstappen, with him getting record-breaking 15 wins in the season. Ferrari would struggle very badly with reliability issues, strategy errors and leadership issues from the team principal Matteo Binotto. Going into the end of the season, Ferrari was celebrating P2 in the Drivers' Championship with Leclerc and only just edged P2 with constructors' standings over a struggling Mercedes, which showed how badly the season had got for Ferrari. When you compare the two, it is night and day. Mercedes had a horrible start to the season and then they got better and better, which is the polar opposite to Ferrari, who started off phenomenally and then the season ended with them struggling to even finish some races and having to turn down the engines in Mexico. So, the horrible end of the season, it resulted in team principal Matteo Binotto resigning, and he was eventually replaced by former Alfa Romeo team principal Fred Vasseur. And that was the 2022 season. And now we're up to the present day. Let's leave it to you now. What do you think of Ferrari in 2022? Was it a total disaster, or was it a big improvement on the two previous seasons where they were just happy with podiums compared to 22 when they were disappointed with podiums? Let us know in the comments below. Now, on to the 2023 season and what exactly could happen in 2023. To start off, we will talk about the two drivers in Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Sainz joined the team in 2021 and he actually beat Leclerc in his first season, which was a surprise for many, and a lot of fans predicted he would do the same thing in 2022. However, this was far from the case and he would be dominated by Leclerc, who showed him how he is one of the top drivers on the grid, and people really did underestimate him. He marked his statement at the season opener in 2022 with a pole position and maximum points, with pretty much told everyone that he was the #1 driver over Sainz. Sainz in 2022 just struggled with the balance of the car, and it would take him until the British Grand Prix where he would get it right with his maiden pole and win, as Leclerc got a handle on the car in the first round, showing who the better driver was. But in 2023, it is a new season of course, and anything can happen, but Leclerc does go into the season as the #1 driver for the team, and he is seen as the man to bring a championship back to Ferrari. Sainz had to beat Leclerc early on in the season to maybe put a spanner in the works and change the whole feel around Ferrari, but it will all come down to the first race in Bahrain, and if that car is a championship winning car once again, it will be very important on who outqualifies who and who beats who in the race. Many people expect Leclerc to beat Sainz once again, but do not rule out Carlos Sainz. He is a very good driver, but is he championship ready? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. A major change for Ferrari in 2023 is of course something we mentioned earlier, that Fred Vasseur comes in for Matteo Binotto. A new team principal means a whole new way of working. With Binotto out the door, he was in the job from 2019 and brought in a whole new philosophy of the no blame culture, which was criticised and maybe was a reason why he did leave the job, but that's for another video. Vasseur brings a lot of experience into the very young team, which is needed of course, and someone who comes in to bring stability when Ferrari needs it the most. They need to have a couple of years without drama to take some pressure off them. Vasseur will be able to bring this to the table. Vasseur worked for Alfa Romeo since 2017 and he was very consistent and had no drama around him at all. And this is the polar opposite of Binotto, who brought drama around the team when they did not need it. The question on everyone's mind is whether Vasseur will be able to handle the pressure of being in a top team, as for Alfa Romeo and Ferrari are two very different teams with different expectations. How will it be able to handle it? And he clearly does have the back in Ferrari, as weeks before he was appointed, it came out that Ferrari was in talks with him and wanted him in the team. So it's not just a panic move after Binotto rised, it is, for once, a very well-educated move from the Scuderia, as they need that figurehead who brings stability and experience when they need it the most going into 2023. Yes, both Red Bull and Mercedes have better team principals of course, but Vasseur will have to build the team up over the years without drama. Will he be able to achieve that in 2023? It will be very hard, as Ferrari will want the car to be good enough to win races and championships, and they will need Vasseur to lead this charge over some of the most experienced teams in the paddock. It will be hard, but it is more than possible. What do you think? Will Vasseur be the right man for the job, or will he be another Binotto? Let us know in the comments below. Overall, it is fair to say that Ferrari in 2023 will have a lot of pressure on themselves to improve the previous year, but they have to do the minerals to do so. They are still a top team and did have the second best car in 2022 for most of the season, and they will have more CFD and wind tunnel time than Red Bull, so that is a huge advantage for them. It is just, will Ferrari be able to build a good car and be able to be consistent throughout the year? With adding upgrades to the car through the year and staying at the front of the grid will be hard, but it is possible. However, a lot of fans are just unsure of Ferrari, including ourselves. It is just so hard to call what they will do, and Red Bull and Mercedes are just better at running teams. Both of them know how to win in recent years, which is the polar opposite to Ferrari, which is a completely new team compared to the last championship win in 2007. So they do not know how to win, and that is an issue that will be so hard to overcome. But once they do and lose a lot of pressure from the media and fans, they will be able to win a lot more consistently. With Ferrari being the most historic team in the sport, it is in their identity to win, but in modern times, they are just unable to convert a good car to a good championship. Will this change in 2023? Guess we'll find out once the lights go out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure that you drop a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one.